the chaos surrounding Shedeur Sanders' introduction to the NFL continues to unravel like a story no one saw coming, yet somehow everyone feels the emotional weight of. The conversation shifted the moment reporters began digging deeper into John Harbaugh's subtle but unmistakable comments about backup quarterbacks and preparation. What sounded like routine coach language was actually a mirror held up to the Cleveland Browns, exposing a truth that has been festering beneath the surface since May. Harbaugh, who has built multiple winning systems and watched numerous quarterbacks step in and perform under pressure, didn't need to call out Cleveland directly. The contrast spoke for itself. In Baltimore, preparation is a lifestyle. In Cleveland, it feels like an afterthought. And Shedeur is the one paying the price. Think about what the past few days must have felt like for him. One moment he's the young, confident, calm quarterback with years of training under the guidance of one of football's greatest competitors. The next moment he's thrust into an NFL game running plays he's never run with players he's never practiced with. It is the kind of pressure that could crush someone without a strong foundation, and yet Shedeur handled it with maturity that defied the moment. His body language never cracked, his voice never wavered, and he spoke afterward with dignity, saying he was grateful just to have the opportunity. That speaks volumes about who he is. But it also highlights how much Cleveland has let him down. A player that composed, that professional, that mentally grounded deserved far better than the chaos he was thrown into. The truth is that this entire situation feels bigger than football. The emotional weight coming from Coach Prime says everything that needs to be said. A father watching his son take hits he should never have taken. A father realizing that his son was being judged on a performance that came without preparation, without support, without the basic developmental structure every quarterback should receive. This isn't about favoritism. This isn't about entitlement. This is about fairness. And that fairness disappeared the moment Kevin Stefanski decided, consciously or not, that Shedeur didn't need first-team reps. That decision has now spiraled into national headlines, coaching criticism, emotional interviews, and a growing belief that something is deeply wrong inside Cleveland's quarterback room. It's impossible to ignore the pattern forming around the Browns organization. A team known for instability somehow managed to create an environment where even its young star prospects feel like afterthoughts. You can sense the frustration in the voices of former players explaining how backup quarterbacks are normally groomed in functional franchises. You can hear the disbelief when analysts point out the sheer rarity of a second-round pick not receiving a single meaningful rep with the starters nearly half a year into the season. Shedeur Sanders wasn't just underprepared. He was set up to struggle. And everyone can see it. Even the locker room can see it. The veterans around him know how reps work. They know what a backup normally gets. They know how important timing is. And you better believe they also know when something doesn't smell right. But through all of this noise, all of this criticism, all of this blame being tossed around, there's a quiet strength in how Shedeur carries himself. You could feel it when he spoke about controlling only what he can control. You could feel it in how he stepped into the huddle without flinching. You could feel it in the way he kept his poise even when the pocket collapsed on him faster than any quarterback could reasonably react. The kid has heart. The kid has talent. The kid has everything you want in a young leader. And that's why this whole situation feels like such a missed opportunity. Not for Shedeur, who will grow from this, but for Cleveland, who seems incapable of recognizing the value they have right in front of them. Now that Dillon Gabriel is sidelined with a concussion, the Browns are in a position they never wanted but absolutely deserve. They have no choice but to work with Shedeur as the potential starter against the Raiders. For the first time, he will get the reps he should have been getting for months. For the first time, Stefanski will have to sit with him and actually understand what he likes, what he sees, how he reads the defense, what routes feel natural, which plays spark his confidence. The tragedy is that all of this could have been established long ago. But the beauty, the unexpected twist, is that Shedeur now has the chance to prove every doubter wrong in real time. And if he plays well, if he steps onto that field and performs with rhythm and command and energy, the narrative will flip instantly. The Browns won't be praised for preparing him. They'll be criticized for holding him back. And that's a story Cleveland is absolutely terrified of facing. Behind everything happening right now is a simple truth no one wants to admit out loud. Shedeur Sanders wasn't drafted to be ignored. He wasn't drafted to be hidden. He wasn't drafted to be treated like an emergency option. A second-round pick is an investment, an asset, a future piece of the franchise. And yet his development has been handled like a chore rather than a commitment. The result is a quarterback who has the tools to succeed but has been denied the structure to do so. And that raises a difficult question. If Cleveland isn't willing to nurture him, who will? Because make no mistake, other teams are watching. Other franchises with strong developmental systems are taking notes. They're seeing a talented young quarterback with untapped potential. They're seeing dysfunction in Cleveland. And they're seeing opportunity. Through all the chaos, all the speculation, all the criticism, one thing remains clear. This is not the end of Shedeur Sanders' story. Not even close. If anything, this is the beginning of something that will define his early NFL career. How he responds. How Cleveland responds. Whether trust can be rebuilt. Whether leadership will step up. Whether Stefanski learns from this or doubles down. These are the threads that will shape everything that comes next. And no matter where this journey leads, one thing is certain. Shedeur Sanders has already shown more poise, grace, and resilience than most rookies ever have to. He deserves better. And he will get better. If you're invested in this story as much as I am, make sure you drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Cleveland failed Shedeur? Should he demand a trade? And what do you believe his future looks like if he actually gets the reps and support he deserves? Hit that like button if you want to see him succeed, and make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a single update. This story is evolving by the hour, and I'll be breaking down every snap, every decision, and every twist as it unfolds. Stay tuned because the Shedeur Sanders saga in Cleveland is just beginning.